So I don't know if you've heard, but SimMagic has come out with a couple of new products. They've been peppering us up until this big release here.
Right?
Um,
Teasing.
yeah, teasing, and so they finally dropped their new line of wheelbases. They're the Alpha Evo line. Um, Naming aside, which I think might be a little confusing going forward. I'm going to share my screen of kind of like a breakout of the new products, and then we'll kind of go over how they compare to the current lineup here.
This episode is brought to you by Trophy AI, the ultimate performance coach tool for sim racers. Hello and welcome to the Chicane Podcast, where we discuss all things in the sim racing world. I'm your host, Jason Rivera, and I'm joined here by Mr. Eric Kelly and Jeff Smart. How's everybody doing this week?
Hey, doing good this week, man. The Cheetahs won again.
The Cheetahs?
If you're not following my youngest, he's playing soccer for the first time. They won the second game, so they're doing good. Nursing my first ever sim racing injury. You know, for people that say that sim racing isn't real, it's pretend. You got to be careful. Hurt yourself.
Right.
Yeah, I'm doing good, Jason and Eric. Good seeing you guys again. Highlight of the week here. So ready to get into another nice little discussion here.
Yeah, man, it's been an excellent week. I love hearing about the Cheetahs. We're going to need to see a leaderboard soon, Eric, so you need to get that over here and see
Just imagine when they're at the top and it's everybody else.
That must be a great feeling to see your daughter and she's winning. She's coming home. Man, I hope the trend continues. You know how that goes, you know?
Yeah. We've had to teach her about sportsmanship. Last time she was on the field and like they scored like the third time, the other team hadn't scored. She ran off like yelling like, "We scored and they haven't scored any points." It's like, wait, chill out. Don't make the kids cry now. But yeah, it's all fun and games. They all have a good time. They get snacks afterwards, so that makes up for everything.
There you go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, just a couple announcements here. We did our first. Michael from the Sim Racing Den joined me on last Sunday, and I had to get up at 3:50 in the morning because somebody decided to make the race at a very early Eastern time, and I felt the pain that Eric goes through every week with us, and you know it just came back after me, man. So I had to get up. We had a wonderful race. It was cool. It was cool. It was a 3-hour race, and we got a nice, cool livery. Had a good time, and it was actually a very smooth experience. Switching drivers and everything because I've never done it.
How's that work?
So what you do is you sign up for a team in iRacing, and then you invite whoever wants to be part of the team, and then the organizer takes it puts you not by name but by the team, so both of you are in, and then in the skin application that we use, what is it called? Trading Paint? Mm-hmm. There's a button down there that you can assign a team skin. For it kind of syncs up. It takes like a few hours to show up. So we made a team called the Sim Racing Coalition. So it's the unison of two brands coming together and joining forces. So SRC was the name of the team, and it took like 4 hours for that little button box to show up, and then we just uploaded the skins. Shout out to my boy Neil. Stayed up till 5:30 in the morning. A total of 12 hours working on a skin just for us. Yes. And
it is Top Shot, right?
Bro,
yes, sir.
we made a Rexy replica and turned it into a Raptor. And I'll post pictures on here so you guys can see. But it came out really nice. And shout out to Big, the Top Shotter. We need to support him. I keep telling him to open up the gallery and start and make and get this going. But he's a little shy. So maybe this episode will give him that extra push. So it was fun.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say that. It was very easy, Jeff. So you know how in iRacing, right, you pull into the pits. And then you can literally get out the car to go to the garage or the settings. Mm-hmm. Whenever you do that, the next person, it'll turn green and it'll say practice or go race or qualify. So while we were practicing, he would drive the car for 5 laps, come in, do the driver swap. It takes 30 seconds though, but it's a virtual 30 seconds. It's literally instant, but the game, it's not a penalty, but it's kind of like part of the rules. Like if you driver swap in a race, you're sitting there and with a timer coming down because it's like simulating the guy getting
people
out the
getting
car.
in and out. Sure.
Yeah. You know those meme videos where the guy's like passed out, like drag his ass out of the car?
That's exactly what I was thinking about, man.
That was me, bro. At freaking 5 o'clock in the morning, I was like, man, you know how it be in the morning. It's cold in the house. It's cold in here, man. You know how it goes, but very, very smooth, very interesting. I think it was awesome. It's a very cool experience. I was basically his spotter. While he was racing, I was telling him how far behind, what the weather forecast, strategies. We had some USB problems on his end. That was scary. And the replay is on there. It's about 4.5 hours. And is actually playing in the background, which I had just hit play on. So that's us racing it. But anywho, lots of fun. I'm hoping we can do a 24-hour and include both of you into this and do a 6-man. That way, Jeff gets out of work and he comes home, hangs out with the family for a little bit, and at 8 o'clock at night, he's like, "I got the car," and then he goes out for a run. Then Eric is waking up on the other side of the world, and he gets the car. That's got to be
dope.
That would be dope, bro. Imagine
that would be cool.
That way everybody can do their normal day job or whatever, and then come in and put some time in the car, So
hey, I'll tell you this: if I know y'all on track, I'm not sleeping a week. I already know I'm gonna be like a kid at Christmas. I'm gonna be nervous. I'm gonna be excited. All that stuff. Waiting on my turn.
It was relatively smoothly a smooth experience. It's just I was nervous at the last stint when Mike was like, "Take the car. I'm running out of gas." And the tires only had like 12 laps in them.
Literally or figuratively running out of gas?
Yeah, like the virtual car.
The virtual car. I didn't know if Mike was running out of gas.
No, the virtual car was running out of fumes.
Car.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
I was watching. Mike was locked in. Yeah,
Mikey was focused. He was in the game. He was helping me, and it was great. And then he's like, I wouldn't take tires. I only had 12 laps. So that was the only thing I would say is like, when a car's worn down, you're not used to just picking it up and driving it right away while it's worn. You're used to the tire being brand new and you ease it in. That was the only time, but honestly, I took the car, I was nervous. I took it easy for the first half lap. And then I was like, the car feels fine. You hear me say it. The car feels great, actually. It feels perfect. So, that was great. We had a little briefing thing between us. We looked at places where we could pass because we had BMWs on track. We had MX-5s on track. So the thing is, we need to bump the participation numbers up a little bit with the GRL. So guys, stay tuned for the next special event. These don't happen often. And when they do, we're looking for max participation if you can make it. Sorry, because weekends are kind of, but at 5 o'clock in the morning, I was okay with that. It's just it was kind of painful, but there ain't nothing going on over here. I know Jeff can tell you. Jeff he'll wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning just to prepare his boat and do his thing too. So nothing new.
That's cool, man.
That quiet time, man.
Yeah,
that too.
Or F1. Because that's another reason.
Yeah, that's another reason to get up. 100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
1,000%. Yes.
And a bit of exciting news for the Chicane podcast. We are reaching, the next episode will be our year anniversary. And just before our year anniversary, we have our first sponsor for the show. Trophy AI is sponsoring the Chicane podcast as of this episode.
Let's go.
And it's a hell of a tool. And it's a tool that Eric Kelly first mentioned here on the show and used it, reviewed it, showed it to us. Yeah. We checked it out. So it kind of made sense when they reached out to us. And I said, oh, yeah, this is a tool that we use regularly, and we actually covered it in the past. So just check it out. Check out the description. It's probably going to be all over the screen somewhere. But,
as it should. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't change your price. It just gives us a little kickback on the membership side of things. But give it a try, I would say.
Yeah.
And we
Let us
started.
know what you think. Yeah.
You know, Eric gave his unbiased review well before the connection being made. So go back to that episode, unsanitized or straight no chaser review.
Yeah,
that is correct, and that is the AI racing. One of them. It was literally like 2 months ago, maybe. I want to say.
Yeah.
So that's exciting news. That's good support for the show, and it helps keep the podcast alive and everything. And we're all excited to go over to the expo. We're in May.
Yes, sir.
I don't know about you guys or what part of the world you're in, but May is technically summer. Summer has begun in Hawaii. Jeff could tell you it's been toasty.
The whales
outside.
are gone. The surf is down.
That's it. North Shore is wide open. You can dive there. You can surf there. You do whatever, but
you won't drown.
I hope not. Please be safe out there regardless. But anywho, those are some of the announcements for this week. Really excited. A lot of exciting things happening too, especially with a particular brand called SimMagic. But before we get into that, we actually had some rather unfortunate news, right? I know I'm all over the place, but EAWRC, which is dear to my heart, even though they're EA, and you already know how I feel about EA. And we also had their subjective anti-cheat being kernel level permissions on your computers. But I digress. I kind of accepted it and kept playing it. It seems that there's going to be a pause in development or a stop. I'm going to read this article for you. In a statement to players, the publisher said, "Every great journey eventually finds its finish line, and today we announced that we've reached the end of the road working on WRC and confirmed its recently released Hard Changes DLC will be its last." So, Hard Chargers, excuse me. For now, we are pausing development plans on future rally titles. So not only is the game over, but it doesn't look like they are going to work on this or rally games in the future. They also saying to EAWC will continue to be available for existing and new players. I would hope so, right? You guys put money towards, and I would hope that you'll be able to race the game and use it, whatever. But just to give you some history with this, WRC was a Codemasters game, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. If it was Codemasters, or no, excuse me, Dirt 2 and the Dirt series was a Codemaster, and then Codemaster partnered up with EA Games to create this new WRC game that they call EAWRC. So I'm hoping it's only on the EA side, and Codemasters can either scoop it up or do something with it, because it's a great rally game. And we'll keep you updated. This is what we know as of today. So if you guys know any updated news, you can leave those in the comments below. No worries. We'll make those changes accordingly. And that's just a little bit of the news tidbit from WRC. And then there's another There's a new sim racing game out, which I'll hand this over to Eric. He's excited to go over that one.
Yeah, sim racing, the more competition we have, the more options, the better for us. That's just always great. This one's interesting because it's PC, Xbox Series X, and PS5. It's called Project Motor Racing. It's published by Giants Studio, developed by Straightforward Studios. Seems like it's going to be pretty interesting. They're kind of seem to be covering the gamut as far as features and functionality. They have four class races that are possible. There's scanning tracks, going to have 70 cars. Just seems like it's going to be an interesting game, especially with it being on PC and console, especially with the multi-class stuff. I don't know of another game on console that'll let you do that. So that'll be interesting. It's not out yet. I think it's supposed to come out later this year. So keep an eye on that. Of course, you got Evo in the back. There's like a kind of
that's the sleeping giant is what I'm calling AC Evo. It's been really quiet with them, but when you jump in, every time I've jumped in, it's just good. It's like smooth. The graphics look good. The driving's good. So that's the sleeping monster that's waiting to happen very soon.
Yeah, I think
give me
this
some
one
open wheel.
Right. Bring the open wheel for real.
Sorry, back to
have some open wheel.
No, you're right though. Bring it over. Now this new sim racing game that Eric's talking about. The only concern I have with what do you call this? Cross platform is I hope they find a way to separate the ones that are using a controller because they could be dangerous on track.
Yes, even on console, they're dangerous. Yeah.
I don't know. Is that's a good question for you, Eric. Does GT7? No. Okay, he's shaking his head.
You can tell who's using the controller.
No, you can tell when the tire goes like this.
They're kind of.
He's flicking the stick.
Like flicking the stick, or they got the gyro thing, but the window is so small that you're having to kind of always make small adjustments. So you can tell who's on a stick.
Bro, if you did that on iRacing, if you flick the stick, the car is just gonna go.
Oh, dead.
Dead.
Yeah, you're dead. Yeah. But yeah, I was looking and I wasn't sure about crossplay because I don't know. There's a lot like racing against a guy in a full rig. I guess you can kind of do that on GT7, but I don't know. That'd be intimidating racing against PC guys on a console.
Well, at least in GT7, people are using pedals. Most of them, serious people, are in pedals and steering wheel.
Some of the fastest guys are on controller though,
which
like
is
the top. Like
wild.
So the interesting thing is the reason why I'm excited about that game, the new one, is they mentioned like it's on console, so we have to cater to controller, but it is designed for wheel and pedals.
Okay.
Whereas GT7 is designed for controller for the most part. I
would say it's equal, right? Because they have their own. Yep. They had a partnership with Fanatec, and they have their own GT wheel. I think they're equally biased with it. Like that didn't make sense, but you know what I mean. Like their focus is on both. They like, hey, if you want to use the steering wheel, it's optimized because I think support was day one for that Fanatec setup on GT7 when it came out. So they even had their own wheelbase for the design for that game, which is huge, right?
Actually, they had two.
Oh, they had two, right?
That Diddy Extreme bundle they came out with, the 15 Newton meter one. They got a new GT wheel that goes with that.
Oh snap! Okay, that's crazy. So, well, at least they have. Yeah, I mean, it's an option. Yeah. It's an option, which is kind of cool, and the VR experience is great. So, but yeah, I guess that's a little bit of news for this week. And then we have some more news, which is the bigger news, and I'll hand this over back to Eric to cover one of his favorite, or should I say his favorite, one of his favorite brands in the community. Mm-hmm. Got a smile on his face and everything.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've heard, but SimMagic has come out with a couple of new products. They've been peppering us up until this big release here.
Right. Teasing.
Yeah, teasing. And so they finally dropped their new line of wheelbases. They're the Alpha Evo line. Naming aside, which I think might be a little confusing going forward, I'm going to share my screen of kind of like a breakout of the new products, and then we'll kind of go over how they compare to the current lineup here. So, here we go. And so, as you can see here, they've got 3 wheels. Let me get this out the way. I'll shop later.
Bro, Eric, what are you doing, bro? You got this stuff in your cart, bro? What's up?
No, man. I got to test. I got to test the website.
It keeps popping up. It's like, hey, man, Buy me.
I gotta make sure their checkout process works.
I don't think you can get rid of
they're
that, bro. That
spamming me.
anytime you
Yeah.
scroll down.
Yeah,
That just
they
makes
know
me
what they're
like
doing.
frustrated and not want to buy from them. But
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
Like,
I have
alone.
SimMagic, so it's hard to complain.
Yeah, I hate that. I guess they got to get their money in some kind of way. But yeah. So these are the three wheelbases. They obviously have the Sport, they have the Evo, and they have the Evo Pro. And the biggest differences are really going to be in the power output. And the Evo Sport and Evo, they're very similar. Even in the weights, if you look at that, they weigh the exact same thing. As far as strength, 9 Newton meters on the Sport and 12 Newton meters on the Evo. But as far as technology, they are all sporting this new 21-bit encoder. The previous Alpha line was an 18-bit encoder, so you're getting some more fidelity there. They mentioned a new processor. They also mentioned support for a cool new QR that'll give you wireless, essentially wireless MagLink, so you won't have to run the cable in the future. But that's still, I think they said it's still kind of in testing. Then you have the big boy right here, which weighs a little bit more, and also has 18 Newton meters of force. But everything else is pretty much the same. Same 21-bit encoder, same processor, same response rate. And we'll go up to the top of the site here, kind of go over some of the other features they put a lot of time in this website. So they are very proud of the zero cogging tech, which I wanted to get y'all's opinion on. I never noticed because I don't have anything to compare it to, but apparently a test of cogging is when the base is powered off and you turn the spindle, how notchy it feels when there's no power to it.
Right.
Apparently, Jason, you probably can attest to this. The
So
SimiCube base is perfectly smooth.
the SimiCube does. I mean, I've never felt cogging on that thing, but when I had a Fanatec DD2, I did. And what it is, it's like a notch. It feels like a notch. Like you turn the wheel and it stops here, and then you turn it again and it stops there. And then
it's the magnets, yeah.
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 It's almost like a ball bearing, like a ball bearing where it's going around and it stops at each one, kind of like a gear. But you can't hear it. It didn't really, even with the Fanatec, I didn't have a problem with cogging. That's so meticulous, like very, very meticulous with that.
So I would put this in the hype category then, as far as the features. I like to do this on my tech reviews.
Well, I would expect them to have a zero cogging tech in 2025. That's 100%.
Yeah.
The Fanatec DD2 is years old, like pre-COVID old. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, but Fanatec was the first direct drive base to ever exist, at least commercially for us. At least in the United States. Let me just correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
but
yeah. So that one, I'll put that in the hype category, right?
Okay.
It's something that unless somebody told you, essentially you would never notice. You would never
why are you spinning the wheel with the thing with the base off? What are you doing? It's not a toy.
Of course I had to watch a couple of videos, and they're like, I don't feel the cogging is better than the Alpha, and it's like I would never buy a wheelbase based on how it worked with no power. That's
right.
No truer words.
Now, so you remember when the DD came out, the CSL DD?
Yep.
So the CSL DD was the first Fanatec base to not have the cogging. And you did notice a smoother action on it when it was on and everything.
Oh, okay.
But you're comparing it from a Fanatec that had that heavy cog where you can.
That came out like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Ancient
history. So moving on.
All right. Yep. So a couple other changes they made. Obviously, you can see they incorporated a little LED ring around the front of the base, and also a while back they mentioned their plus up kind of magnetic swappable ecosystem, and this is the first base to be natively support that. I think they'll have a picture of it here somewhere.
Eric, I wish that I could turn my green light off.
Oh, so Fanatec, I mean not Fanatec, SimMagic apparently has heard your cries and was like, "You want to turn off that little small LED?
Yeah,
We'll give you an entire ring of LEDs."
I know, right?
But you can control them, right? You can,
there's also
turn them off.
Electrical tape.
Electrical tape.
Yeah, we got options.
And it's
out
still
here.
bright as shit. It bleeds through.
Oh my god! Like I wish I could
doesn't
get an
wanna give
LED
up.
on my wheel that bright.
Oh yeah.
So they give you a whole.
when it's
Okay,
off,
so we're since we mentioned that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Eric. My bad.
Oh no, I was just saying, even when it's off, you turn the wheel and it's lighting up still.
We don't need a freaking LED inside. No. We don't need it there.
I don't ever remember getting a Porsche and seeing that around the wheel base.
No. You didn't know that RGBs make you go faster, Jeff?
Bro, 2/10 of a lap.
So the active pedal has RGBs, but they're
Is
little.
It controlable?
Yes.
There you go.
You turn them off.
These are controllable as well.
What a novel idea.
But it's great to have, right? Yeah. Because when you're, the pedal's like down in there. If you want to troubleshoot it with a error code, then you turn the brightness up and it'll. You can see the status of the pedal, that way.
Yeah.
But then
that's cool.
When you don't need that, when everything is okay, I've never had a single issue with them. Yeah. You turn it all the way down and you forget about them. It's pure darkness down there. So
now I will say I did see something interesting. Somebody was showing how if you sync it up with your flags, the kind of effect you end up having is once your wheel's on the base, you don't really see the ring, but just the color comes out behind your wheel. And so you can have a wheel, I guess, possibly where you don't have LEDs on it or something like that, and you can see flag colors coming from those.
It depends on the wheel, because if you got an Astro wheel like mine, it'll cover that entire ring. And then your hands are back here. But there's a thing called Daniel Newman Racing, and he'll shine up the entire room for you.
It's like it's another, like, Jason, do you guys turn your bases off at night when you're done, right?
Yes.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to remember, but
sometimes I forget.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm trucking. I've not been known. You already know what that means. That's code word. But I try to, because that's like one of the most expensive things on there, other than the pedals. I don't want that to fail.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've gotten in the habit of making sure I turn it off since I rewired my rig, and the power switch is a little bit more accessible now. So
it just sucks. Like that's the only thing that I have now that's on its own switch. Like I can turn everything off with a press of my button on the
I see,
with the Stream Deck. So, but it's like now I got to be like press the button, and then I got to I have it mounted, but it's just like be nice if there's a way to.
No, you're trying to make it one button press. That way, it feels like a car. Like just
it just is.
Yeah, I feel.
Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Sorry, Eric, I digress. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, but it's good to have a discussion that just to see the different opinions.
So that was actually one of the. Once we go down a little further, that's actually one of the changes. So apparently the new wheelbase has a power switch on the back of it, so you don't you're not forced to.
But it's on the back.
It's on the back of it.
Hey,
I'm gonna lose all my front
somebody
teeth.
Said,
Eric, why didn't you design it with it on the front?
This is not a shot to SimMagic. We love you.
We love you, but put the damn switch somewhere easy.
We're just letting you know, next time y'all design a wheelbase, you got your guys right here. Okay.
There you go.
Give you everything you need to know. Because there's some other questionable decisions that have been made before you even get to the performance.
And it continues. It continues.
One of those decisions is, I don't know if you can see how they have this guy mounted, right? Like in this picture right here. Got side
I do not like that at all.
Deal breaker. No front mount capabilities, huh?
The thing is the flex. That can flex really hard if you pull it down.
So you have front mount capabilities, but they sell a separate bracket that goes here, but it has the mounting points up on the side of it. It's a weird looking bracket. But
but I want to buy
immediately,
like I have an Apex, whatever it is. That's not compatible with that thing.
Yeah,
Yep.
let me screw inside to the damn
Standard thing that
steel
everybody's got.
freaking what is it? Die cast? What is it? Iron?
Yeah.
That shit is solid, bro. Let me screw
that's
into
a deal
that.
breaker for me.
Yeah, man. So that's another design decision.
Yeah.
And they're kind of catering to like, well, we got the LED, we got the magnetic DDU that we want you to be able to attach to the front. So we can't let you, front mount normally. You need to be able to access that stuff. So
but it costs like nothing to add that.
Yeah, it was on the old one. Like
I have one on mine, and I have a front mount on mine. On a
Yeah.
what do I have? What do we have, Eric? I don't even remember anymore.
The Alpha.
The Alpha.
Alpha.
Yep.
Alpha.
Yep.
Yeah. This is the new
sir.
Alpha. Or
is it?
The new, yes, it's.
I know
that's
is.
what I
right,
mentioned.
Yeah.
That's what I mentioned before. The naming. So if you have
So is it worth it? Which is the question,
kinda,
Eric. Is it worth it? I want to hear from you both.
So
you have
so
this...
in my opinion, I want to ask you about the encoder, because to me that's really the most noticeable improvement, possibly.
Okay.
The difference between an 18-bit encoder and a 21-bit encoder. In my research, 21-bit encoders, I can't remember if they said the Simicubes, they have like a 21-bit or higher bit encoder, which just gives you significantly more information to the wheel that it can process, per revolution. So everybody was kind of raving about the force feedback detail, how you felt so much more detail, felt more of the road.
It's a new product, though, is what I'll say.
Yeah, it's new technology.
Honeymoon phase.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if that's expected. And so for me, that kind of perks my ears up, because I go between two platforms where there's a significant difference in the same wheelbase. Like when I go from GT7 to iRacing, like I can feel the road in iRacing. In GT7, if I'm on a straight, it's pretty numb. Like no matter what you do, the sim is just not giving you that information. So it's not a capability issue, but I think the overall effect is the same, where in iRacing, I feel everything in the car, even though I'm still using the same,
hardware,
same wheelbase. Like the forces aren't higher, it's just more information. And so in my mind, going from 18-bit to 21-bit, if I have a sim that supports that, then I will get that much more information, that much more detail.
But how much more, right?
Yeah.
Compared to 18.
I want to ask you, because
Eric, how much is the 18 Newton meter? I think it was at 18. You got prices somewhere, because that's going to dictate a lot of this, right? I mean, everybody's choices come down to money eventually.
But wait, before we do that,
so
Jeff, what do you? I guess you want to look at the price before you say your.
Because honestly, I'm like, for me,
I got prices.
I was all right. Bring the prices out, and then I'll go on my rant.
So
on the rant,
I guess I'll go 1 to 1. So I guess the Evo Sport, which is their new 9 Newton meter wheelbase, is $400.
He said 9 millimeter, bro.
The old
who we out to get, Eric? Who we out to get? He said 9 millimeter.
Hey man, hey, it might be might be some magic depending on the way they act.
No.
It's a little questionable.
We're kidding.
But so the old Alpha Mini, which was 10 Newton meters, is currently on sale for $400. Originally, it was $540.
How's it go on sale when it just comes out? Like sometimes
no, the old one.
Oh, the Alpha. All right, you're talking about the Alpha Evo or the
Mini's on sale.
So the Evo,
the Mini. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Mini. So pricing. So comparing the price to the, they got the
same
3
price,
in their lineups. Yeah, they're the same price. For the Alpha, basically the mid-range one, the old Alpha and the new Alpha Evo, which I said the naming convention is kind of confusing. The old Alpha right now is $650. It used to be $770, but it's on sale for $650. The new Alpha Evo mid-tier is $550.
So $550.
So $200 or $100 cheaper.
Yep. And the top of the line, the old top of the line used to be $1,000. It's on sale for $900. The new top of the line Alpha Evo Pro is $700. And so at a certain point,
so $700. How much is the mount to front mount it?
That's a good question. Let's see if they have that on here.
Accessories, maybe.
Yeah, if you got a picture, it would be great too, because that's like.
Yeah, do we have like a graphic? Let me see if I.
Oh, there it is, right there.
Yeah, $50.
I don't see how it still mounts it though, right? There was no drill or taps.
So,
no, it goes on the side.
So you mount it to the side, and then it kind of wraps around the front of it.
What are those mounts on the front though?
Points.
It doesn't. They don't even have a picture of what it
mounted. See, what do those 4 screws go into?
It's
on the front.
So these are actual. So these are actual bolts.
No. The ones that are facing the driver.
Those 4, Eric.
Oh, the holes there.
Yeah. That's where you.
So
that's where you front mount it. So that
I didn't see any front mounts on the actual direct drive unit.
No, that's what this is though. You hook this up to the side of the motor, and now you have a mounting point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it goes in front, which would block.
I see.
Part of the LED. It kind of make the LED irrelevant at that point.
Oh, then sign me up. I'm all for that one.
Well, so the way it's shaped, it actually the LED still
it comes through.
Yeah, because it's round. But
why is it so important to have a freaking LED come through? Nobody wants this LED. Please, comments, shout out. Do you
let us know.
LEDs on your freaking wheelbase?
Because sometimes LEDs are cool, but on this one, like, give me the option to turn it off.
Yeah, I think they'll let you do that because you have full control over it.
Of the LED?
Yeah, but I would just like an option.
Can I make the LED also, black?
So
off?
Yeah, off, or just output black, or dim it down, or something like that.
So you're gonna be able to like mount a faceplate, if you will, onto that. You know, is that the diameter of, like Jason, you and I have the same mounting plate, that front plate that's got a starter switch.
It should, because it's universal. The mounting point comes at an angle like an X, like that.
Yeah.
So that way you can use multiple motors. It's not just because we have the same mount and SemiCube, and
it's a standard, right, or whatever it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully, don't.
Or you could have just
don't crucify us if it isn't. We don't know about this thing.
Or you could have just put, taps into the freaking motor mount.
SimMagic might have a whole different measuring. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. That'll be some pain for somebody to
Imperial and.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure they got it figured out because your bases are front mounted right now, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But yeah.
I mean, you don't. It's a preference thing, Eric.
Right? And that you took the words out of my mouth. Right? That's something that you and I like.
Yeah, that's not necessarily the way or the right way.
A lot of people with bigger than 32-inch, screens when they're on triples, put the DDU in front of the screens, right? So they don't care.
Exactly.
Yeah, I plan on front mounting and kind of tucking it behind my screen. At some point, so that's why for me this base is kind of
We're talking about bases, and we like the front mount.
Yeah.
But I might be switching allegiance to the regular mount because I want to use the SimCore one that goes on it grabs the wheelbase by the side, and then that SimCore one allows you to take the motor and just go up and down and have a cant to it, right? Like built in.
Yeah.
Because when we go to this expo and we try out motion simulators, it's going to get really serious.
You took the words out of my mouth.
So I'm already doing the research about mounts and what do I need to do. And I have a measuring tape and I'm looking at this. It's going to get very, very, it's going to be colorful. At that Sim Racing Expo. It's going to be
There's a couple companies that I hope don't show. Just so I don't get tempted.
Oh, they keep adding people.
I know. I keep seeing that.
Since we did the episode, they've added maybe 6 partners Like it's
guest speakers and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm like, oh,
it's getting out of control.
It's gonna be
actually.
crazy.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the last part that one of the major changes definitely is the I/O on here. So this is the back of the wheelbases. They still have their standard, power plug. They have a Type-C port in the back. They have some USB-A's in the back, USB-B, which you don't see a lot of. And then
very secure though. USB-B's.
Yeah.
Like
it's
so is that like a power
as far as what
hub
all you can
almost?
use them for?
It is a hub.
That's pretty rad.
Are still kind of up in the air. So we don't know if these are going to be future accessories or what, but the wheelbase does have pass-through USB. So to my understanding, you can have something plugged into the wheelbase for your wheel and it's like plugged into the base, and it basically the base is like a hub almost. So
well,
cool.
It makes sense, right? Because the wheel has its own power supply. So that means that the power is not coming from the computer.
That's a good point.
So you can theoretically plug a high-powered wheel into that steering wheel, into the base. Mm-hmm. The only question I would have is, do the USBs stay hot when you turn off the motor? Because if they do, that's a deal breaker. If they don't, that's awesome, because you can plug in a steering wheel like Jeff's Solpec, and it has a screen on it, big old screen and lights. Mm-hmm. And instead of having to create another, does your wheel have a power switch, Jeff? I know.
I put one on it.
Okay, yeah. So that's what I mean. Imagine plugging that behind the wheelbase.
I don't need it, but I have it.
When you're done racing, oh yes, I gave you that, I think. Or something like that.
I got a couple of them on certain things that I have,
which you can solve, with the $5 adapter. But we're talking about just little conveniences, right? To make it seem like it's worth the price. And I just want to know if you could turn that wheel off, if it will cut the power to the wheel, because if it would, that would be a winner. That would be awesome, because then you can have a DDU. You can have your DDU and your steering wheel on one single, basically on a separate line of power, which is these things have a big power supply. I'm pretty sure they can handle that power output. Definitely.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The power supplies are huge. And I would, that's a good question, because on ours, it's a hard power cutoff, right? The power switch is in line with the power cable before you get to the base. So you flip that switch on the Alpha,
straight cut.
It's killing power to the base.
Mm-hmm.
They have they mentioned like an emergency stop or something.
Yeah.
That it comes with. I don't know if that's built in or in line with the power or what. But I think that if you are flipping that on and off, then you're killing power to the base 100%.
So
I don't think anybody recommends doing that, though.
I can speak for
unless you have to.
I can speak for SimiCube and Fanatec. Those were the two bases that had that accessory. It's really nice because you can mount it in a different part of the rig, and that's your power button. So you can have it, you can move it around. And sometimes back in the early days of sim racing, these sims weren't really optimized for direct drives having that much power. So if the wheel starts acting funny and going crazy and breaking all your screens and smacking your face with the wheels shaking, and you can't stop it, if the switch is behind the motor, I'm gonna get smacked dead in the face with that motor. Like it's gonna hit me right in the forehead. So the emergency stop, you're supposed to be able to, touch it, and it cuts the feedback though, not the power. I believe.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I believe SimiCube cuts the feedback, but the base stays on. And whenever you turn the dial to reset the button, the base resets the force feedback on the fly, so you don't have to go and turn it back on. The Fanatec, I believe, if you hit that power, it's acting like a power switch, but if you press it back in, it'll bring power back. It's kind of like, but that's ancient, right? The Fanatec one. I'm talking about like the newer
Yeah.
style ones. So, you know what I do, guys? If you guys want to know a nice optimal place to put that thing, so in your rig, you're sitting down, and I use my right knee, right, my right leg is my gas, right, like all of us. So I have it on just right next to my knee. So if I want to smack it with my knee, I can just swing my knee open and hit it instead of trying to find it and press the button. So if I have something crazy happen, I can just go like that and I kind of kick it with my knee and like hit it. And yeah, so just an idea. You do what you want, but
Hey, I like that. As a recent sufferer of a sim racing injury,
where we haven't heard about
I'm
this
all
injury. What
for it.
happened, bro? But let's finish up this this research we're doing on SimMagic.
Yeah. So
then we'll hear about that injury, bro.
I found one other. This is the last new thing. They added a new filter algorithm, and you actually have a setting in the Sim Pro software to adjust this filter. Some people have kind of said it's similar to the what's the new
True
I can't think
Force.
of the new like True Force,
Some of those
Full Force, like that type
gimmicky
of technology
things.
where it gives you like enhanced
Mhm.
force feedback. Yeah, they say it feels it feels significantly better
with
as
it
far as
on.
just like the force
Okay.
feedback. Yeah, with it on. They say you can feel like all the pebbles in the road, like it kind of elevates the quality of the force feedback. They are kind of complaining about, or I did hear complaints about the actual strength, which obviously these wheels at the different levels are weaker than the previous generation of Alpha wheel.
Right.
So there are some people that, like specifically with the the Sport, which is the entry level wheel, it having 9 Newton meters. Some people are saying like I don't know if they're even saying 9 holding. They're thinking they're saying 9 peak, which means that you're getting even less
Which
than that
means you hit
in
9, you
holding
clip,
force.
basically.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there's still some questions around that, but as these wheel bases hit more people, we'll get more feedback on them. But yeah, that's the new lineup from SimMagic. I'm holding what I got.
Honestly,
Same, 100%.
yeah, I've heard this about Invicta wheels. They're saying Invicta is a great wheel and it's a great base and everything. And
Mhm.
just the other day, we were talking about that, and I was like, yeah, I guess, but how much better is it really, right? And then
Yeah.
this other gentleman joined the stream, and we were talking, and he's like, you should use the Marvin app. Remember I mentioned that last episode? And I did that on a live stream with him, and it just completely killed my wheel. I couldn't feel anything. I was like, what the hell is this? So I say this: if you have a 15 plus Newton like you guys, or even 12 Newton, you're good. You don't really have to run out and get this stuff. Honestly.
Yeah.
That's why we got the expo. You go to the expo, you try these things out. You put your hands on it. Then you can be the judge of it, right? Because
Motion.
like
Yes,
motion.
sir.
Like motion. So we were all meant to move around.
I like where you're going with that. Motion is healthy.
Want to have a live coach available on demand? With Trophy AI, you'll be able to practice with Manso AI at your convenience. A real-time coach in your headphones to navigate and guide you through the track, helping you achieve race pace. This tool is awesome as it provides full brake, throttle, and steering telemetry on screen with the live review getting you ready for your next big race. Check links to Trophy AI in the description and also use Chicane12 in all caps for a 12% discount. Tell me about this injury though, before we move on.
Oh yeah. So so the injury isn't new. My realization that it's because of my rig is new. Basically whenever I lift my arm, like above kind of like shoulder height, I have just like a pain in my shoulder. And I realized the way that I was driving, like whenever I would turn to the right, that's when it would start hurting.
Oh.
And so now I'm looking at like my seating position, my wheel position. That's why I was saying I'm thinking about going to the the front mount.
I see.
And what you were saying about
To give you that option.
angle the wheel up. Yeah. So
Mm.
yeah, if you aren't set up properly, you can hurt yourself.
Eric,
It's a real thing.
you're in my thoughts and prayers as you're going through this tough time through sim racing.
Yes. Same.
Yeah.
God bless
Have
you.
a moment of
I
silence
appreciate
on
it.
the
And-
show.
Right.
Yeah.
Which we'll break it. We just broke it. But
Hey.
dude, I'm
Work
telling
through
you,
it, buddy.
5 years into sim racing for your boy.
Mm.
And I just 2 weeks ago, I was making adjustments to my seat to find the right. It's really hard to find that right thing, dude. So
Yeah.
but having the hardware to help you do it, it's a good step in the right direction. So
Yeah.
if you can hold off to September, because if I decide to buy Motion, I might donate something to you with the front mount. Just saying.
Hey, man. Hey, well, so I got a little bit of adjustability on mine, so I'm gonna max that out and see
And
where
check
we
it
go
out?
from there.
Why would you have to go to a different, get rid of the front mount if you went Motion?
Because if you want to mount your rig, let's say with
I know the
Motion,
screens get close, right, to the shaft of the DDD or the
Right.
DD, excuse me.
right? But I don't want anything in the way. I just want that one single motor and a line of profile so that I can mount stuff so they can go in front of the screen. With a front mount, our style now is to put the monitor as low as possible to create this
Seamless.
this dash looking thing. Like the road is here, but then you have a dash just behind it, like that. You know what I'm trying to say? Like an overlap. But with Motion, if you're gonna put the motor in front of the screen, now you have this big metal piece going like that in front of it. You
just
see what
want
I'm saying?
The minimal amount of stuff in front of the screen.
Don't ruin the immersion.
Gotcha.
Just the steering wheel, and
Makes sense.
that's all in front of you. And then you can add your dashes and stuff to go and populate. But no big giant piece of metal going like that. That's kind of what we did for now, right? That's what we did for no motion and to have a stable platform.
Plebes and common folk with no motion.
I almost feel bad because I'm the one that kind of motivated you to get the front mount.
Dude,
But
I love no.
So-
I was going there the whole time. I asked her, right? No, that's all me. I love it. I wouldn't go back even if I had the choice.
No.
except for
I think
motion.
it's
Except
freaking
for
awesome. Except for motion.
We're going to have to make some changes. So we're going to have some front mounts
I hope motion's terrible.
on the
I hope-
TGSR store. We'll put them
hope
up
I
for
hate
sale.
it.
Oh, you hope you hate it, bro.
I hope I hate it.
Hey, that would be the best thing because I can stop worried about that too.
I know.
I'm going to I want to be there to record his reaction. We're
This
going to
is
record each
terrible.
other's reactions.
Oh
I know.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. That's gonna be.
The clock is ticking, Jeff. I hope, man. I'm gonna have to make a few phone calls, man, with some banks to see what I can do.
Like, hey,
Bring a brand new credit
Let me
card.
put something on this, man. Come
They
on.
gave it to me.
Well, I guess
man.
Eric. Daniel Morad had a nice video. Shout out to Daniel Morad, Pro GT GT3.
He's been pushing out some
GT4.
good content lately.
Yes, he's been active, and
Yes, sir.
he did a video about ergonomics, and I recommend everybody view that because I can't
It's a great
pretend
video.
to give you the right answer right now because there's so many different configs, but I guess you can hear it from a real life driver and on how you should be positioned. And that's what helped me with the seat, to be honest, to be fair. And ever since I made that change, my braking's improved because I'm not moving no more. Before I was doing a little bit of this. Now it's just a steady, just pressure, essentially. But
Yeah.
I'll leave a link in the description. Shout out to Daniel Morad, the GOAT.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a
Two
great
Daytona
video.
24s.
Two-time.
Yes. Double Rolexed up.
He is. One for each wrist.
There you
Tell
go.
you. Yes, sir.
Alrighty. So over to Jeff for his topic of the week.
Gentlemen,
Man,
we have been hot and heavy with the 3D printing as of late. I think everybody would agree. We have cumulatively the whole 3D Bamboo Lab covered. So with that said, I found a page on YouTube. This gentleman, you guys that I'm sharing here, that you can see now, shout out Third Wheel exclusive. This gentleman claims.
Where third wheel? That just don't sound right.
Yeah,
man.
we're just gonna let that one, Jason. We're just gonna let that one go, okay?
Yeah.
So,
All right.
so this dude has been claiming he's been 3D printing for 30 days, and I'm gonna show you. This is like I say that tongue in cheek because like what he's about to show you is incredibly impressive for 3D printing for 30 days. It makes me look like, elementary school dude with a 3D printer. But anyways, so this is his. He's got a pretty decent YouTube channel. If you haven't seen him, check him out. He pushes out some really cool stuff. But he talks about what he's about to do. And I'm gonna skip around. I'm gonna skip around here because I really want to show some certain points in here, and we're going to talk about it. I'm gonna let it play, and we're going to talk about it real quick. So this portion here is his design in some CAD software. I am not a CAD software pro. I got my kid on like Tinkercad, and he's crushing. He's up there every night with Tinkercad.
Tinkercad is kind of cool, man. That's
dude. He loves it. We're like this weekend. He's like, no, I'm ready to print, Dad. So we're gonna try to print off Tinkercad.
Tinkercad. That's impressive.
But dude, it's impressive. We could do that's for another day altogether. So anyways, this dude designed this thing. I'm gonna let it play.
On my streaming computers.
I don't know how long
that's not going to hold up to me zooming out too much.
Yeah.
But you can kind of get the idea.
So what you're looking at is I don't know, I've never been inside one, but a Porsche Cup Car dash. He designed it by like looking at pictures on the internet. Probably had some measurements here or there, but he designed this by himself in this CAD software. And you can, if you look closely, you can kind of see the breaks in where it is. So it prints in certain pieces. And I'm going to jump ahead here to the next one. Next one here is
a little.
So this is his first go at a button box, and he gives a couple different goes. But like
for quite a while, if you guys have seen the videos from before,
this is pretty damn good for a first go at a button box. It's way better than I could produce. So definitely. He's got a couple different. I'm just going to skip through here to show some of his progression from button boxes that he's going to put. Obviously in the center console-ish area.
This is what an actual Porsche 991 button box looks like to some degree. It's got a little bit different button layout. I took a few liberties of changing some things up. I wanted to get some LEDs on a few of the buttons. I've got LED rings in some of them.
Yeah. I mean, first go to button box. Yeah, that's pretty solid.
Pretty damn solid, bro. That looks like it came out of a store.
Yeah. I mean, there's people that pay a couple $100 for that thing off Etsy or wherever, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to jump ahead here. So you can see as he's putting together the dash. So shout out. This is something I do. I wrap a lot. Jason knows I wrap a lot of things in carbon fiber for my rig. But
hell
so
yeah, he does. You do a good job too.
Thank you. This is him piecing together the dash.
Together to some degree for me. Like I started to understand some things in printing, and it just started to click a little bit to where I could start to get something that looked more realistic. One of the tricks of printing this has been with anything on the dashing brackets.
So this is the back side of it. You can see how he connects the pieces.
Basically, this was the max size I could do for the back plate on my print bed. And I didn't want the seams in this back mount here or in the shroud to be in the same spot as these plates. So basically.
So obviously this dude did a lot of thinking before he, went for final print. But, like you can see him starting to piece these things together and start building this out. So I'm going to jump ahead here as he's starting to piece this thing into his rig. And you can start to see he's got a wind sim that's integrated into it.
That I've created to slide in right over here and finish filling in the rest of the dash.
I'm going to skip through as he slowly pieces this thing together here.
The bolt started so that I'm not trying to find that it slips right over the hub connection.
But it all clips in.
just has a very snug, nice fit right over the wheel shaft. And I was very fortunate that, like, even though I've had to make a few
Look at this.
adjustments,
This
it
guy should
pretty
sell a
much
kit.
lines up perfect
Yeah.
because it can't really move much because of that wheel shaft. All right, so that locked in really nice. The wheel shaft, or the shaft turns.
I mean, you look at it, you start to see the dash integrating with the screens and stuff, right? It's
Yeah.
just starting to come together here. I'll jump further ahead here.
That looks cool, man.
Yeah,
So this is him putting in the center
sliding it
console
right under the
over
button
his
box and around
Fanatec
the
shifter.
Some decent alignment. The one
Bro,
thing I
but-
will say I'm fairly impressed with is it's actually pretty sturdy, not even bolting it in. Now, one thing I do really like about this design.
So this dude spent a lot of time measuring and planting, right? Because I mean, this stuff takes a long time to produce. And I got one more of kind of him driving the car, and you can kind of see the final product here. So he's got an actual wheel that kind of fits along with what it's supposed to go with. But I'm just going to let this go for a couple minutes.
A lot of
and you
work
can
to
kind of
get to
judge for
this
yourself.
point. A lot of trial and error. And I have to say, it looks pretty good overall. I would say the net probably needs to be moved over. I do have plans, like I said, to get that where it needs to be. Definitely a little thrown off. Left side.
This is VR or
bar visible?
No, this is his rig.
This is his rig. Like no VR, no pass.
This is like GoPro or something, right? Like
it's
POV.
GoPro. He's probably got a GoPro in his forehead or chest or something.
Kind of just cutting down right here.
On his forehead.
I think that would really help a lot with that view.
Yeah, I mean, so you get the point, right?
Yeah.
Here, I'll cancel this out.
That's awesome.
And this is the second one that I've seen like this. The first one was the dude had, I think it was a Huracan that he bought the plans for and printed. But this is the first one that the dude showed him piecing together. He did himself too. Like this dude did it from scratch. And I'm like, bro, like, you could sell those plans and probably make some money. That's pretty cool. I mean, right. The only downfall I see here is that you're kind of married to the Cup Car.
Yes.
Right? But if that's your thing, Jason, how much other stuff are you driving, lately?
Dude, just the BMW and the Cup, but they're both carbon fiber interior, so it'll make sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. The second he drives something that's not a Porsche Cup Car, it's gonna be real weird.
Yeah.
But when he's in it, he's in it. Like
it looks.
Steering wheel. So I looked up that steering wheel. That's like a $1,500 steering wheel.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, like this the like leather Porsche, like that ain't no rinky dink steering wheel.
I thought it was like a wrap he put on, like a Fanatec or something.
And if
the
he did,
opposite
it's a
side of the
great
spectrum.
looking. Hey, if he wrapped the wheel and made that, it looked great because it's a carbon copy of the actual Porsche wheel you can get.
Is it really?
They get cheap. Yeah.
So I mean, this dude's been 3D printing for 30 days, and he put that together. That's impressive by itself. And then the immersion factor of driving this thing. I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. I think that's
hell yeah.
Right. That's what this is all about. Is you got something and you just try to make it better, make it better, make it better. And the dude taught himself probably a shit ton about CAD software and 3D printing and like, hey, dude, shout out, Third Wheel Exclusive or whatever he is. Sell that stuff, dude. You could probably make a pretty good, at least recoup some of the money for the 3D printer.
Yeah. At a minimum, he could just sell the plans for people to have.
Just the plans. Just the plans.
Files. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And, and a weekend later, you got an interior for a Cup Car or a P car, Yeah.
That's exciting though, because it's like something that you just don't believe it, that you have the machine here. And that's all you need is the machine and filament.
So do you think that, we brought it up a little bit while ago about the mixed reality, because obviously we like the immersion of the 3D or the VR, but this kind of almost gets rid of that because you have it. There's no pass through, like you're there.
Yeah. It's an option, right? It's an option.
It's just, do you see more of this coming along where somebody puts a BMW together, and you see this being in 6-8 months, there's kind of like 10 models out there.
So I can see it, but I think it's still going to be niche, mostly because, like I said, as long as you're driving that specific Porsche car, the immersion is amazing, right?
Yeah.
But the second you try to drive anything else, it's gonna be weird.
It's gonna be wonky, sure.
Yeah, it's gonna,
And I noticed that on the corners, it covered part of the screen. I couldn't help but notice that. She was playing iRace and there was a little.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, if I've been racing the Porsche a lot, and I've been racing a lot, so much that I almost don't want to race the BMW no more. I want to race in the Porsche now and dedicate more time, because I barely have time to practice. And every time I'm done with a race, I got 3 days to practice for the next and get used to a whole nother set of car,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's rough.
I think, Jeff, honestly, bro.
Go ahead, bud.
I meant to text you, but that guy you were following, he finally posted the instructions you were looking for.
Oh, I watched it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed.
Was it full of it? It was full of it. I told you it was the same thing we gathered. What we gathered here, Jeff and I.
It's funny, we did it on the same night too.
We were like trying to figure this out, and I pushed Jeff a little bit. I was like, "Come on, man, you haven't figured this out yet." And then I said, "Watch, I'm gonna do this." And
I was
then
like, it's so not good that I was like, "This can't be how he did it. There's got to be a different way." And sure,
you need to shine light, on top of a wheel, like external light, and then everything else has to be pitch black, bro, for that to be able to work. The problem is that my steering wheel has a screen, so now you're introducing glare on top of the screen. It's just
you're probably gonna have to turn down some.
We're
LEDs.
not ready yet. We're not ready yet for that.
I was watching some flight sim dudes that have passed through, and they use a program, Kneeboard.
Okay, I've heard.
So like, normally in a pilot, in a real pilot, I say, puts his, Kneeboard notebook on there, and he has like, radio frequencies, call signs, etc. And they put a pass through that you can look down to your leg. And I think there's a handful of guys out there that you can draw the pattern of your. So a lot of like the flight sim guys are very cockpit aircraft specific, so they have different outlines and shapes that go through their, that they're looking through, and they can draw specific cockpits and put them in their files. So as they switch from aircraft to aircraft in their flight sim, they can go for a different pass through. Oh, so I want to get in there and try and draw mine. It's a simple program that they use.
You bought flight sim? Have you tried?
No. But I'm going to try Kneeboard.
You should try flight
use
sim.
Use Kneeboard and see if I can let it just.
You should
through.
try flight sim, bro. I think that's the next thing for you.
Don't do it. Don't do it,
bro. Dude, I want to so bad.
I used to do it, bro.
Hey,
I was on a commercial flight from Hawaii to Japan.
Of course.
And I went to sleep, and I left the freaking plane on autopilot, flying, and I went to bed in real life.
Over China.
It's cool, bro.
The last thing I need is another rig over there next to it with an F-16.
No. You don't need another rig.
No, you do. Yeah, because you can't do both. You can't do both.
You can emulate your clutch pedal and your gas pedal, turn those into rudders.
Bro, where's your stick?
Your stick, bro. Okay. Yeah.
You buy that
hey, if anybody out there,
where
you can buy the ones that come out like this.
You got that new what was it, the active shifter?
Oh,
yeah,
the Moza thing.
Or Moza,
yeah. You got the all-in-one deal, man. Go from H pattern to sequential to flight stick.
That's it, bro.
I don't know, man. Like, I think VR is the way to go for that. But the moment you do like a roll, you're either going to get sick because you're not rolling. Like VR, like
bro, you're not flying an F-16, bro.
That's the only reason I do
it's a commercial plane. It's not gonna roll like that. You're gonna snap the wings.
Nope. I'm spending all that money. You better be damn. I'm getting a.
He's like this, and the plane is like.
No.
Abort. Pull
or
up.
get DCS. No, it's free.
They said that they were. I think they're gonna have some flight sims, right?
They're gonna have.
I don't want no Cessna. I don't want an Airbus 770. I want an F-16, A-10, F-18, whatever.
Bro,
hey,
you're talking about some serious money. If you want to build one of those, you're gonna come back. I made up my mind.
Dude, there's some guys that have
I'm building this.
Unbelievable setups in flight sims. Unbelievable setups.
Oh yeah.
They have iPads too that talk to the Airbus and they use real life map data from Navigraph. I had subscriptions.
The sun sets on all as they're fall. Yeah, dude. Whew.
Flight
But they-
plans.
It looks amazing.
They
Real
got like
life.
all
flight
the
plan.
actual buttons and switches, and they all work on the. Yeah. Whoo. You
Yeah,
get
it's-
down to
it's deep.
YouTube on there.
Oh yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna be all over that, man. And this is another reason, man. Check out that Sim Gaming Expo, man. Stop sleeping on it.
Yeah.
Chicane 10, get that 10% off. I'm
Hey,
telling you.
And come hang out with the crew.
And
And
the
hang out
cost
with
of
other-
F-125, F-125, you don't need it, bro. You don't need it.
It looks just
exactly.
like 23 or 24. That looks like 23.
Can they please let go of F1 and not WRC?
Right?
Say
What's
just
You know
shift
what?
over.
Didn't I
man.
say that? Let go of freaking something. Let go of the F1 title, man. Stop playing. Anyway,
Yeah, I guess they
We
heard you.
digress. We digress.
You weren't
I
too.
think
You
everybody,
weren't
all our
specific
listeners know
enough.
how we
Yeah.
feel about F1.
but it's that time.
What time?
It's that time of the week
All right.
Yes, sir.
for track of the week. And I messed up my own segment, but it's that time for track of the week. We're back with track of the week. And today it is yours truly. And I have chosen the Fuji Speedway is what I have next.
Okay.
Another favorite of mine. I've been wanting to cover this.
Let her rip, Tater Chip.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, gentlemen. So let me pull up the notes. Talk amongst yourselves while I get that.
Oh
Just
yeah.
real quick. Shouldn't be quick. It should be
We'll
that.
be there in a second.
I thought I had it up, and I guess I didn't.
Hey man, it happens, man. You're getting older, man.
Oh wow!
You're wearing that McLaren shirt. If you put on a Mercedes shirt, it'd probably be happening a lot faster.
It's a Piastri on my back, just so you know.
Piastri's a good dude. It's hard to hate on the dude. He's just
Yeah, Piastri
probably-
is doing amazing things, and I think he should be the #1 driver. I'm
he
just
goes
gonna
home and probably plays like Minecraft or something.
probably
Yeah.
Roblox.
or Roblox
Probably
or what is that? Roblox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's out partying. He's
Damn,
like,
bro.
he's out there like, I just built the coolest farm.
All right, is this in shot? I believe it is.
Yes, sir.
Let me bring up my notes, and we will go over the Fuji Speedway, which looks like. What does this look like to you?
It looks like an AK. Or
It looks like a
rifle.
Tommy
I was
gun,
about
bro.
to say,
Like a
Tommy
old
gun.
school-
That's it. Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
Tommy gun.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go back to what it looked like back in the. Whoa! What? You see this? What is it?
It actually looks
Flipped
pretty
it
cool.
backwards?
Change.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to read into what happened here. But
I
let
already
me
got
get
an
right
idea.
into it, guys. Track of the week, Fuji Speedway. Here we go. Located near Mount Fuji in Japan, has a unique and storied history that began in the early 1960s with ambitious plans to build a NASCAR-style oval. That's how it started.
Then they got
Inspired,
smart.
yeah.
I shouldn't say that to our NASCAR listeners.
It's all right, man. You be yourself, bro. No straight, no chaser.
Exactly.
Inspired by Daytona Speedway, the circuit was initially designed with two long straights. Let's you guys have that up on screen, right?
hmm
The two long straights.
I count
apparently.
one.
Or maybe let me just
One long
continue
one and a-
reading.
Yeah, go ahead.
Two long straights connected by high bank corners. However, yeah, I had to finish reading. After financial struggles and safety concerns voiced notably by Sterling Moss, the oval plan was abandoned midway through construction. The circuit was completed as a high-speed road course, and although the NASCAR partnership was dropped, the Speedway name remained. So that's why it's called Fuji Speedway, because it was supposed to be an oval track.
Oh, okay.
Mitsubishi acquired the track in 1965, shortly after it opened. Despite the change in layout, Fuji remained extremely fast and dangerous. The long main straight fed into a banked high right-hand turn with minimal safety features, leading to several severe crashes. Here we go again with the crashes. The circuit opened up officially in 1965, with racing beginning the following year. International interest grew quickly, with appearances from stars like Jim Clark, Jackie Stewart, and Bobby Unser. USAC IndyCar and the Can-Am series visited in the late 60s. However, safety concerns mounted, culminating in the tragic 1974 crash, which is probably why the year after it changed, right? We had a change here.
Yeah.
It was a tragic 1974 crash that killed 2 drivers. This led to the removal of the banking from active use, replaced by a safer layout with a new hairpin. So let's take a look at that. They basically it happened here, and they just cut it, just shorten it down. Like they basically cut it off, I guess. Anywho, Fuji gained international prominence in 1976 by hosting Japan's first Formula One Grand Prix. So look at that, Jeff. They used to race F1s
the OG
here.
for Japan F1.
Yeah. The race became legendary as James Hunt secured the championship in dramatic conditions after Niki Lauda withdrew due to heavy rain and poor visibility. However, tragedy struck again in 1977 when a crash involving Gilles Villeneuve resulted in the deaths of 2 trackside personnel.
Man.
So, people in trackside, damn. This ended Fuji's initial run as an F1 venue. Oh,
Is this the one where they started and that dude stalled it and the mechanic like ran out there and got hit from behind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad too. He got hit.
There's video of it. It's like,
man,
there's like warnings on that video too. Like
there should be.
Kinda...
It's terrible.
Man.
So then it says throughout the 80s and 1990s, Fuji remained focused on national events with occasional international races such as World Endurance Championship, right? Safety improvements were made over the years, including the addition of multiple chicanes, updated barriers, and gravel traps. However, incidents continue to occur, most notably in 1998. So let's go and skip to 98, which is this layout. So I guess let me just go do a rundown here and make sure. Just little minor changes right here. You see this right here, this little corner, kind of tighten it up.
Yeah, when they had that little chicane,
couple chicanes in the
right here.
Yeah, Dunlap. Yeah.
I got a question for you, gentlemen.
What's that?
See how it says 100R and 300R?
Yeah.
I think the other track in Japan's, I can't think of it right now.
Suzuka.
Has a turn in there, something R too. Do you know what that was, the whatever number and the R means?
So that is a good. Radius. Is it? Hey, comments below. Email the Chicane Podcast if you know the answer to this.
I wonder if it's the same thing to do with the R that's after the curve monitors.
Yeah, I think it is.
Maybe.
I think the smaller the number, the tighter the turn.
We'll come back to this and update you on that because I honestly don't know, bro. Yeah. So anyway, there was a good note there, Jeff. Because there is a 300R, I believe, in Suzuka, which is that long, long bend.
High speed, yeah.
Yep.
So this incident that occurred in 98, when driver Tetsuya Ota suffered severe burns in a fiery crash, exposing serious shortcomings in emergency response and marshalling. And then in the year 2000, which we'll go over to 2000 now, which is the same, that's the layout, 98, 2000. Toyota brought the circuit and initiated a major overhaul, hiring designer Herman Tauk, I probably butchered that, to redesign the track to modern Formula One standards. The newly updated facility reopened in 2005. Is that still accurate? Here it is. So that's to date when it opened up. So the newly, 2005 would improve infrastructure and reprofiled layout, retaining much of its original course, but removing the dangerous final corner. F1 returned in 2007 and 2008, but heavy rainpour, crowd logistics, and controversy over Toyota's handling of the event led to a fan backlash. After alternating with Suzuka in 2009, so that's how they used to do it. They used to do, I guess they alternated it. One in 07 they were in F1, and in 09 they did Suzuka. The global recession prompted Toyota to exit F1, and the Grand Prix did not return to Fuji. Since then, Fuji Speedway has returned to hosting primarily national level events. It remained a key stop for the World Endurance Championship, though even that has been plagued by the region's unpredictable weather. I mean, it makes sense. This is a track at Fuji. There's a lot of rain up there. I mean, it's bad weather up there all the time. Such as 2013 race, which was red flagged after only 16 laps on their safety car. Uniquely among major circuits, Fuji embraces drifting. Hell yeah. Hosting D1 Grand Prix events and offering dedicated drift and short tracks for public and amateur use. It also hosts major fan festivals, including the Nismo and Toyota Motorsport festivals, and remains accessible to the public for track days.
That's cool.
So they're trying to use it. You know what I mean? Fuji's story is, it's crazy how technically this track should have been an oval, and then it should have been part of the F1 calendar, but it's just had bad luck ever since, ever since they opened it. So it's still owned by Toyota, and the last redesign was in 2005. The track length is 2.8 miles or 4.5 kilometers. Main straight is 1.5 kilometers long, almost a mile long. One of the longest in motorsport. FIA grade is 1, suitable for formula. So it has the grade.
That looks like a badass track for F1.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the weather.
Put it this way.
Yeah, you're probably right, Eric.
Well, the World Endurance Championship races there, those are P1 cars, bro.
Oh, really?
They're pretty damn fast.
Yeah,
they're just as fast as an F1 car. So,
yeah, that's true.
And now you got people drifting around the track. I mean, that's pretty dangerous too. But anyways, some notable things about it. 1976 Japanese Grand Prix, title deciding F1 races in extreme rain. That was the and then a year later was the fatal accident. And then in 2013, as I mentioned before. But that's Fuji for you. Hopefully, maybe 26, we have hopes with F1 changing a bunch of things, and maybe they can check out Fuji. But with the weather being the way it is up there, I can see that being a concern. So
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's track of the week in the bag. Once again, I figured I owed the honors to Fuji. And it's unfortunate, man. It's just unfortunate, that those things happen. And it's always when they open the track, someone dies, or someone that's trying to watch the event, have a good time, they die. It's kind of been the trend with track of the week lately. But
it makes you think, because when you were talking about that, I was thinking of the Isle of TT.
Oh,
how many people get killed there, and they're like, we don't care, we're running it again next year.
Oh yeah,
Isle of Man, bro. Is that that's the island in Scotland, bro? That thing is.
I don't know how those riders get on the motorcycle with stones that big,
bro. That track that's not even a track. That's a small town that they racing through.
Yeah.
It's a death wish.
Driveway is wider than that road. I don't have a driveway that's that fast.
Bro.
That's small.
I've seen them doing wheelies and turning the bike at the same time. The front end is coming up. Yeah, go ahead, Eric.
No, I was just gonna say that's on 2 wheels, man. That's open wheel is one thing, but 2 wheels, that's
a different animal altogether.
It's wild.
You might as well be flying.
Yeah.
I think you might as well.
That's crazy. That'd be cool to go see in person too.
Someone's maybe we can do a special on that track, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
let us know if you guys want us to cover some history on the TT. It's not sim racing, but it's some sort of racing. Could be fun. Yeah. Anyways, that's going to be it for today. I excited to have track of the week back. Excited for our new sponsor, Trophy AI.
Yep.
And just counting down the weeks, man. So round table, everybody. What we got? What did we miss? We'll start with Eric Kelly.
Hey, nothing, man. Just ready for the Sim Gaming Expo.
Already.
Go. Yes,
Already.
sir.
All right, man. I'm ready for Monaco too. I want that Monaco track coming back around the calendar year.
Yes, sir.
And Jeff, what about you, man? What you got for save round alibis?
I got a couple save rounds that I did not spill during the announcements that I probably should have.
Cool. Yeah.
The listeners have probably heard me complain or, talking about this said wind simulator. I have pulled the trigger.
Oh, you did?
It got delivered today.
Oh, snap.
I will be installing it tonight.
Good
and
luck.
we'll give it a go. I also had, what's that?
I said, good luck with that, bro.
If it's not
Give me a call if you need help. It can be disgusting. You might need an extra pair of hands to hold stuff up.
I know. My rig's not really in the best places people can see. Like anything on this side of the rig is incredibly difficult to access.
It's just straight up no access.
It's just, that's more or less what it is. Everything goes on the other side. So that I have been, you've heard me talking about, I do almost solely formula racing. So I've kind of designed a fuselage, if you will. Then all the parts that I've been trying to build that I need here are here. I've slowly started to put together. If you could see around it, it's a mess as I'm kind of, putting it together this weekend. So hopefully next week it'll be ready to go. We'll see. There's always, I missed that. I forgot to get that. Or something, something didn't come up. I need to get it, or
something didn't fit right, or whatever.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. So there's probably something like that that'll come up, but I'm gonna put that together here in the next couple of days. Other than that, that's about it.
That's
so big
cool,
changes.
Man.
I'm pumped to try to get the WIM simulator. I did not go the Hurricane route. And I'll kind of give a quick rundown why I didn't, because everybody was like, "Oh, the Hurricane's the best." And then I watched this YouTube review of, I forget what it is. It's like the Sim Racing Garage, older gentleman. Has this
that's OG Sim Racing,
super nice rig in his garage. Older gentleman, long hair, has like a little skinny mic out in front of him. Great quality videos he puts together.
Long videos too, like
long
2-hour
videos, right? If you want to know that, like he takes apart the thing. So he took apart the Hurricane wind sim, and he broke down to the component level. And when I saw that it was like a $35, PC fan and then an Arduino and a power supply, I was like, I just don't know if I can justify that much when, like, if something breaks, I feel like I could fix it, either buy a new Arduino. Because I had debated about building my own, because I've watched a shit ton of videos over the Arduino soldering and stuff like that, and then program it. Didn't seem rocket surgery, if you will. So I went off a reputable Etsy dude that was in the States. I just didn't want to wait on Jason. It takes forever to get shipping from Europe here in Hawaii. So a reputable dude on Etsy. I don't know it off the top of my head. And I went that way. It's like, if the fan burns out, I'll buy another fan off Amazon. If the Arduino fails or whatever, I will buy a $18, $30 Arduino's chip, put it in there. I just wasn't ready to do it myself, I guess. So anyways, long story short, I went that route. We'll give it a go. I'll give you guys my feedback and take it for what it's worth. But it'll be a busy next couple of days for me as I get some work done on the sim.
And we can't guarantee that Jeff will give us words next week on the show, because again, like he said, things might go wrong, or so hopefully
I'll do my
we
best,
can.
But no problem. Yeah, eventually you'll get feedback.
So our next episode is actually a very special one. So we'll be going over the story of the Chicane podcast and its origins, and its first year, and where we are, and what we're dreams of. And right now it's motion. That's kind of the dream right now. But and the gaming expo, and some Chicago pizza, bro, because they're known for the pizza out there. Even though I can debate that, and I know Jeff is probably like,
that's thick pasta.
Yeah, some deep dish pizza, and just
I'll try it.
I'm just gonna dive in it, bro. I'm just gonna dunk. I'm just gonna.
So, you want to hear something funny?
Send it.
A guy at work, he's from Chicago, and he was telling us about Chicago style pizza. And we're like, oh yeah, we're like, no, that pizza sucks. It's a pie, basically, like pizza pie. Nobody wants that. And he's like, what are you talking
He's
about?
from Chicago.
He's like, what are y'all talking about? We're like, what are you talking about? Like, you're talking about Chicago style pizza? That's the deep, like, super thick. He's like, no, Chicago pizza is thin crust pizza. And
Say
we
what?
were like, you don't know Chicago pizza, because Chicago pizza is the deep dish. And we Googled it, and thin crust pizza originated from Chicago.
What?
Like, they called it like old tavern style or some style pizza. But he's like, yeah, like everybody, my whole family, all we eat is thin crust because it came from Chicago. I was like, the more you know. I learned something today.
We're gonna test this theory out and see how the pizza tastes down there.
Yeah,
I know Vlad knows some spots. Yeah, one bite.
One bite.
You know the rules.
You know the rules. I was hoping somebody knew what I was talking about.
Yep. I love that guy. That guy is awesome.
Some Boston stuff right there, buddy.
Yeah, all he does is go around eating pizza all day. That's his job.
Yeah,
it's a hell of a job.
Dave Portnoy.
All right, gents. Thank you so much, everybody. Love to see the smiles. Love to see you guys. And yeah, this is the final episode before our start of the year, right? It's going to be our new fiscal year, I guess. We'll call it that. And with that, have a great start of your week. Thank you.